Hello, this is my racial autobiography, and I am going to talk a lot about my father because he taught me quite a bit about race and what it means to be proud of who I am and where I come from. So, since it is a lot about my father, I do want to show a photo of him. Um, this is us at my graduation from UC Berkeley. Very proud moment, obviously. Um, and One of the very first things he taught me is one of my earliest memories is he used to say to me, "Tú eres más mexicano que las dunas," right? Which translates as, "You are more Mexican than the cactus fruit," which is a bit funny because I really didn't speak Spanish well, nor do I still. I am able to communicate, and I think I can communicate most things that I want to say, even if they are tend to be philosophical. I think I could make my way through a conversation in that regard. However, in no way would I say I'm fluent. Um, Despite that, though, he made sure that I was aware of my Mexican heritage, that his father was Mexican, born in Mexico, and proud to be a Mexican. And as such, he wanted his sons to be proud of who they were and where they come from. Um, and um, and he, as I said earlier, he wanted to instill that pride in us because he knew that society would attempt to uh, make us feel less than, feel inferior. And um, one of the stories he would tell us uh, was when he first came to the United States and he was first going to school that one of his very first teacher said to him that um, that you are in America now, you must learn to speak English. And that always stayed with him. And I said to him, "Well, Dad, you didn't speak English when you first came over, so how would you know what she said?" And he said, "When somebody says something hateful to you, you remember those words, even if you didn't understand them." And so that stuck with me. And there have been moments in my life where I felt targeted by police just because of my skin color or my shaved head, um, and other moments where people would say to me, "You don't look Mexican," which is something my father would tell me, "You may not look Mexican," and some people are going to tell you that, and they may make it seem like a compliment, but always remember that you are Mexican, and never allow anyone to say uh, that when they do say that makes you feel good because uh, that means then you are ashamed of who you are and where you come from, and in essence, ashamed of who your father is as well. And he did not want me to be ashamed of who I am or where I come from. The funny thing, though, to me is the other lesson he taught me about race was despite the fact that I should be proud of who I am and where I come from, he would always say to me, "But you don't have to go around with your flag in the air. You don't have to have your flag raised. You don't have to tell everybody all the time that you're Mexican, that you're brown and proud." He said, when there are moments when you need to let people know, you will, and those moments will be clear. Other than that, be who you are. Be true to yourself. Um, get to know everyone. Don't close yourself off to people. That's one of the worst things one can do. Um, because so many people have so much to offer, and why would you want to close yourself off to those blessings and the gifts that people might provide? Not in terms of material gain or progressing in one's career, but just knowing another human being. And that's what my father taught me, right? To be proud and yet be open. Because when one is proud, often one can close oneself to other people because one thinks one is superior. And he didn't want me to have that either. And so it was a balancing act. And he, I think, did a really terrific job of that. And one of the moments where I truly felt Mexican was because, in all reality, like I said, I don't speak Spanish very well. I would say that limitation has prevented me from truly connecting with my Mexican heritage. But one of the moments where I knew truly that I was Mexican was when I was visiting Mexico City. I flew in very early in the morning there. It was probably 5:30, 6 o'clock. The place was quiet, dead still. And I knew that I couldn't go to my hotel, and my room wouldn't be ready. And so, and I had a hotel near the Zocalo. So I walked to the plaza, and I was walking there. The Zocalo opened up, and it's a huge open airspace right in the middle of Mexico City, and they have this huge Mexican flag flying, and it's flying, and it's enormous. And at that moment, in the quiet, in the stillness, hearing that flag flap in the air, its beauty, its three colors, its eagle, its cactus, my heart grew. My heart grew with pride. And at that moment, I thought of my father and I said, Sí, yo soy más mexicano que las tunas.